Welcome everyone to our SIS Talk. My name is Hala Muhammad, a grade 8 student at Salahaldin International School, and today I'll be presenting the second episode of our Diseases Awareness campaign under the supervision of our science teacher, Ms. Noharida. We're gonna talk about a common disease for young and for elderly. We're gonna talk about diabetes. So, what is diabetes? First, before we start, let's watch this small interview asking our students and teachers about diabetes. What do you know about diabetes disease?
I don't know much about it. I just know that if the sugar level of the patient is not adjusted, they can get dizzy and sometimes they can faint.
It's a disease that comes from eating large amount of sugary food.
I know it's a disease that is characterized by increasing sugar levels.
It's a repercussion of overeating.
I know that some people take injections, as I saw some of our students taking injections regularly.
It's a common disease mainly for elder people, and they need to take medicines and injections.
Do you know any relatives or close friends who are diabetic patients?
Yes, I do.
Approximately how many?
I think from 4 to 5. Yes, I have one of my relatives that is having this kind of disease.
Yes, my uncle struggles from diabetes.
Yes, I do. My father is, my grandfather was.
Fortunately, no.
Do you know how serious this disease is?
I know that it's a lifetime disease, but some people just take care of their sugar level and then everything gets fine.
Can you tell us about the symptoms and complications of diabetes disease?
I know that it's a very serious disease. It has to be taken serious. People, like normally the patients, they have to control their sugar level. Otherwise, they can sometimes enter coma or be hospitalized immediately.
Can you tell us why elderly people may develop diabetes?
It's the same. It depends on the kind of lifestyle and the food they are eating all the time.
I know that mainly because of their close relatives.
After conducting this interview, we found out that many students and teachers aren't so aware about diabetes, so let's explain more about it. First question we're gonna answer is, what is diabetes? Diabetes is a disease characterized by the increase in the sugar level of the blood. So if the fasting sugar level is above 125, that person is diabetic. After conducting this interview, we found that most people think that diabetes is related to being an elderly person. So, is that true? The answer is no. There are two main types of diabetes. Type 1 that comes at an early age, sometimes infants, and is mainly only treated by insulin injections. Type 2 that can take months and years to develop and mainly comes to adults. It could be treated by oral medicines or insulin, according to the case. According to the statistics, we found that 80% of the SIS family have first-degree relatives who are diabetic patients. So as diabetes is a common disease, what do these patients suffer from? What are their symptoms? Symptoms may vary from one person to another, but the most common symptoms are imperfect vision, loss of weight in a quick way, fatigue, urination a lot, specifically at night, and to have a dry, dull skin. As we all know, before most diseases start, there's a red alarm that alerts the patient that they're facing a health problem. So, what's the red alarm for diabetes? The red alarm for diabetes is known as the pre-diabetic state. Pre-diabetic state is when the blood sugar level is at the borderline of 100 to 125 fasting. That means that the person is not yet diabetic, but their sugar level is close to the state of diabetes. If you're experiencing the pre-diabetic state, that means that you should directly follow up with a doctor to monitor your case. Our last question is, if a person has no diabetes and no pre-diabetic state, is that person completely safe from developing diabetes at any age? The answer is no. This is according to the diabetes risk factors. What are those risk factors? They are having a family history of diabetes, overweightness, having blood pressure, having an unhealthy lifestyle that includes eating a lot of sugar, and the last risk factor for the baby if his mother had gestational diabetes. Gestational diabetes is diabetes that could come to pregnant women. So this puts her and her baby at a huge risk later on. If you have one or more of those risk factors, you're at risk of developing diabetes if you don't control your sugar level. At the end, you have to understand that your lifestyle today affects you tomorrow, so adjust your lifestyle. Play sports, eat healthy, stop sugary and sweetie food, take care of your medicines and your sugar, follow up with a doctor regularly if you have diabetes, and everything will be under control and you will live a happy, good quality life. Stay healthy, stay safe.